Hey, good morning, Brooke.
Good morning, Pastor David. Good morning to everybody out there.
Hey, let us know who's here. Kids, maybe your parents can kind of go to the computer and send a message and let us know who's joined us today in our time for faith formation. What is faith formation, Brooke?
Faith formation is a time when we get together and we talk about our faith, our beliefs that we have in God, in Jesus, and the Holy Spirit, and how to live that in everyday life.
So, what's the formation? Is that like when the band goes out on the field at halftime and they do these formations?
Well, it's more forming us and our heart and our lives and the way that we live. It's more
Kind of like
forming
maybe
us.
like a potter is forming clay on a wheel when there's
Yes,
like
I
they
was
call it throwing a
exactly thinking the same thing.
Okay.
That's another like
whole subject.
whole subject for faith formation.
Well, we'll have to do that.
But listen, I get distracted easily. What's in this cloud thing here? What's going on?
Well, what
here?
does it look like?
Well, it
Before
looks
you
like
move on to your discussion,
Oh, who's here?
we have Kylie watching,
Hi,
Kylie.
and Chloe and Dylan are participating.
Chloe and Dylan.
Cool. Welcome back.
Awesome.
I think those three are almost always
Yeah.
here. Wow, that's really neat. And I'm not sure who else is here, but we're
I don't
glad
know.
there may be some adults here and you're a little bit shy about letting us know that you're here for faith formation, but it's good.
And people might watch us later too.
Okay, very good.
But people might watch us later too.
That's true. That's true. And my phone's tweeting too. So anyway, you were asking about
Yeah.
I was going to ask, what does it look
okay,
like to you?
It looks like hands that are praying.
Well, yeah.
Although we don't have to have our hands like this to pray, but it looks like they're.
No, that's true. So today, Brooke, we're going to talk about prayer during our time of faith formation.
Okay, but this isn't usually here.
Well, no. But it's from somewhere in the church, Brooke. I wonder, kids, does anybody know where this beautiful
I do. I bet you I do.
well, just a
Maybe
minute.
Haley knows, because Haley is joined.
Oh,
Haley.
Haley, do you know where this kind of, I guess it's a plaster cast of praying hands kind of cupped together in prayer.
Anybody guessing?
Okay, so Brooke,
Okay, I think that it's in this room.
okay. Well, Hey kids, what room is that? It says letter of the week, number of the week, shape of the month. I bet that looks like a schoolroom.
It does, because the flag's there, like they might say the pledge or something.
It's Memorial Day weekend.
It is Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, so there should be some flags flying. So what room is that in the church?
Well, I'm looking at May, that's upside down.
That's
Sorry, got
funny.
distracted there a little bit.
There's going to be something about every picture, Brooke, that you have to notice.
I think that's over there, the preschool room.
Yeah. Did any of our kids guess it was a preschool room? Oh, we didn't get any responses. Okay.
Well, are the hands there? They
Well,
weren't
that would be a
picture.
great place to have
It
the
would
hands,
be.
Brooke, because it could be that the children would learn about prayer. Because the children, my office is right next to the preschool room, and I hear them pray every day. I think they do a prayer where they ask God, thank God for food and everything. Mary, remember the prayer? Yes. For food and family, friends, and thank you for the food we eat, friends we meet. Thank you for. Anyway, we're having trouble remembering the preschool prayer. They remember it, but anyway, that would be a great thing to teach the kids about prayer in preschool. But that's not the room.
Oh,
Okay, so
okay. Could it? Oh, it's in this room. I know, it's in this room. Yeah, not this. Yes, it's in that room.
well, look real close because maybe you can even see it, kids.
What room is that, everyone?
Well, that looks like a place where somebody would study. There's a desk and a chair and lots of books.
Books.
I wonder what the name of a room with a desk and a chair and lots of books is called. It looks like a room you might go to at school where you can check out books and read stories. But this does have some pieces of art in there. There's
It does.
in the very top shelf in the center bookcase above the table, there's a
They're seeing it. They're seeing
Are
it.
they?
Oh, did they see it? Yes. Well, it's right there on the top shelf on the I guess is it the right hand bookcase.
Yeah, up there in the corner of that section. Yeah.
How cool is that? Well, kids,
cool.
you are really good. That's where these praying hands have been. And occasionally,
Guessing the library.
that's exactly what it's called, a library.
I know, but you know what? That library is tucked away, and some people I don't know if they've ever been in there or haven't. It might have been a long time
You're
since.
right.
So stop in that library because it looks. If it's been a while since you've been there, it looks different.
Well, yeah, and Bookwoman. Do you know who Bookwoman
I know who
is in our
Bookwoman is.
church? Bookwoman's an amazing woman. She visits the preschool in her cape and with her wand, and she comes to she does children's church, and Bookwoman also has some supplies in there because Bookwoman maintains the Little
The
Free
library,
Library.
yep.
And so there's a lot of children's books and things that she puts out, and so that's an amazing ministry.
Yeah.
So it's not just the library back there; it is also connected to our Little Free Library. So we're really excited about that. So yeah, that's where these praying hands are, Brooke. But you know what?
What?
They remind me of something else here at church. Another piece of art. This is a
Oh.
piece of art, but it reminds me of another piece of art, and I think it's in this room.
Oh, look at that. That's one of the stained glass windows.
Yeah, but what room is it? Hey kids, can you tell us what room that stained glass window is in here at St. John's? It's round. A lot of our stained glass windows are not round
Yeah,
like that.
no.
Yeah.
I wonder if even some adults know.
Yeah, but it looks like somebody's kneeling and praying.
It does, because the hands are kind of folded.
Yeah. It's kind of a picture of prayer.
Yeah, kind of.
I-
It is like kind of rocks in there and some green maybe plants.
There's a guess of the Sunday school auditorium.
Oh, that's an awesome guess. In fact,
It is a good guess.
It is, because if you're in the main part of the Sunday school auditorium and you face the stage and you look up between the curtains, there is that round window with Jesus. That's a picture of Jesus, and he is praying. That's our theme today, in the Garden of Gethsemane. Do you know when he prayed in the Garden of Gethsemane?
When he prayed?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was even before he was crucified, when he was meeting with his disciples for the Last Supper, and he went on. We talked about that a couple weeks ago, I think.
Yeah, we did. And they went into the Garden of Gethsemane, and Jesus said, "Stay here and watch with me a while while I pray." And he went off further away from the disciples by himself to pray. What happened to the disciples? Do you remember?
Yeah, they fell asleep.
They did. Well, that's not the topic today. We're going to talk about Jesus, because the Apostle John, who was called the beloved disciple, and that's the one that our church is named after. St. John's is named after John, the beloved disciple. In his gospel, that's the story of Jesus' life, the good news of Jesus' life. John tells us about the time that Jesus was in the garden praying. I expect that John slept some of the time, but I think some of the time he heard what Jesus was praying.
Maybe he was pretending he was sleeping.
Well, I don't know. I bet he did. Well, it was late.
But yeah,
Anyway, in John chapter 17, there's a name for the whole chapter in the book of John. It's called the High Priestly Prayer, and it's found in John chapter 17. But that is our gospel lesson in the lectionary for today. We'll hear it later on in our church, our worship service. But the first part of that chapter is where Jesus is praying.
what's he praying about?
He prays about a lot of things. He prays for the peace and comfort and protection of everyone that would come to believe in Jesus.
You mean all you and me and everybody here and
That's
watching us?
right. He prayed for us before we were even born. He prayed for you kids while you were not even in your parents' minds. Yeah. He
That's
prayed
pretty
for all of us.
cool.
Yeah, it was. And you know, one of the things in today's lesson that Jesus prayed for is really important. He prayed that we would be one. He prayed that they may all be one. What do you think that means?
Well, I think maybe he means that we all should kind of be together somehow.
I think you're right. Now, when Jesus prayed that they would all be one, I don't think that he meant that they would all be of one
No.
mind, that they would all share the same opinions and all share the same practices, whether it's in worship. Because we have a lot of different churches, you know, and some do worship different and some teach the Bible a little bit different. I think Jesus wanted us to have one purpose: to love and to serve God, that they may all be one in loving and serving God. Do you remember what Jesus said was the greatest command?
I wonder if the kids know.
Hey kids, do you know what the greatest command is? You might have heard it in Sunday
I
school.
think you
Maybe
might
the
have heard
older ones would remember this, that you should... I'm making a heart.
How to do that?
Yeah,
There,
yeah,
I'm trying
yeah.
to do this.
Oops.
I know it's harder to do.
Love the Lord your God with all your heart,
Mind and strength, power.
yeah, something like that. That is the Brooke and David abridged version.
Well, here.
All right.
I like that. I like the gestures.
Well,
that go-
sure. So Jesus prayed that we would have that purpose of loving God with our heart, our mind, and our strength. And to do what? Oops, my
That
love
response of love.
Good.
our neighbor.
Neighbors.
Boy, my heart looks
I know.
really
It's hard to do.
neighbor as ourselves.
I'm sure the kids know that one.
Well, I have to, kids, I have to tell you a secret. Right straight in front of us, yeah, is the camera. But in addition to being a camera, there's a monitor. But in the monitor, everything is flipped. So what seems to be this direction is really that direction. And so if we look at the monitor and we try to put the heart, see, I thought it was the exact opposite side. There's my heart. And it's on the left side, too, for those of you that are medically inclined. So anyway, that's why we're laughing. But Jesus' prayer in the Garden of Gethsemane is really no laughing matter. He was seriously concerned that we would have one purpose: to love the Lord our God with all our mind, soul, and strength, and to love our neighbor as ourselves. You know, love, 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 love. You know, that's what Jesus was about. That should be our one. But that's what he prayed for. What do you pray for?
I pray for other people sometimes.
Okay, sure.
For, problems or concerns that they have, or just that they stay safe.
Okay, yeah. There's so many things that happen around us that are not good. I mean,
I know.
they're kind of bad. And those are times when we can pray for people. You know, there's a prayer that I call an arrow prayer. You know what that is?
An arrow prayer.
Yeah, it's one that you shoot like an arrow. And like when you shoot an arrow to a target, you're aiming for the center of that target. I say an arrow prayer is one that you shoot straight to the center of God's heart. So you don't have to have a lot of words. Like there was it's sad, there was a plane crash in Pakistan. God, be with the families that are grieving. Be with those that survived. That's straight to
Yeah,
God's
that
heart.
is.
Just simple, straight prayer. Yeah.
That is.
Yeah.
Do you know what I read this morning?
What did you read?
And for the adults out there, this was the daily devotion from the United Church of Christ.
The
that,
Still Speaking
yeah.
devotional. And you
And
could all
so-
take part of that. Adults.
And the title is ABCDEFG. And it was about
A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Kids.
So you all know that one. And so it was about a bishop in the Episcopalian church. So it was like a clergy person, a pastor,
Okay,
minister.
yep. High up.
And yeah, high up. And he was in an earthquake. And it was a really severe earthquake. And he wanted to pray, but he was so frazzled and distraught and upset, he didn't know the words to pray. He's prayed all these prayers that he didn't know the words to pray. And so the only thing that came to his mind was the alphabet.
So he said A, B, C, D.
Mm-hmm.
But the Holy Spirit that Jesus promised to send to
Mm-hmm.
us takes those prayers and makes sense out of them to God. Because
Yes.
sometimes when we're so frightened, we might only be able to count or
Right.
pray or hardly even breathe. Yeah.
Because God knows what's in our heart.
Yeah.
And actually, we talked about this a couple weeks ago too, where God likes to hear our prayers.
Sure.
God, it's like the things that we like to hear, like really good music. And I remember I said laughter that week. And, God likes to hear those. So even if it's like, okay, we're so frazzled, upset, we can't put words to it, maybe we
Right.
do count or say the
God loves to hear our prayers.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we're like, I don't know what to pray. You can do the ABC prayer. You can do an arrow prayer straight to God's heart. Jesus also did something else. He taught us to pray.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, kids, what is the prayer that Jesus taught us to pray? Do you know the name of that prayer? Can anybody have mom and dad text or whatever?
I'm counting on a couple kids knowing this.
Yeah. There was a prayer
There was a prayer.
that.
And if
Jesus-
they've been following us for the last couple weeks,
Well, we'll end with that very soon.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a pattern of prayer. That prayer, that there's a name to it, and we use it almost every Sunday in worship. Not every Sunday, but almost every Sunday in worship. And in that prayer, there's different petitions.
We got it.
Oh, what's
yeah?
the name of that prayer?
The Lord's Prayer.
The Lord's Prayer, of course. It's the prayer that Jesus taught his disciples. And he taught them to pray for forgiveness. He taught them to pray for their daily bread. He taught them to pray for God's will to be done and God's kingdom to come. Yeah, it's a good prayer.
It is.
So prayer is really important. And that's why I thought
Absolutely.
I would bring these praying hands here, because today's lesson is from the gospel where Jesus is in the Garden of Gethsemane and prays that we would all be one. That is, that we would have the same purpose, one purpose, that they may be one in purpose to love the Lord our God with all our heart, wrong side, David, mind and strength, and to love our neighbor, air hug, as ourself. Hey kids, we're so glad that you joined us, and adults who are young at heart. We are going to close with the Lord's Prayer, and we're going to invite everybody that's here in the sanctuary. There's thousands. Actually, there's only 5 of us here in the sanctuary. We're going to pray together, and you pray with us the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven.
give us this day our daily bread,
And forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Hey, young ones and young at heart, thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you next week. And, well, next week is a big Sunday.
Oh, yes, it is.
Happy birthday to the church. So we're going to have a bit of a birthday party next week. So we'll join us then, and invite your friends and family, and maybe we'll sing happy birthday to the church or something.
Okay, we'll do something.
Okay.
We'll have a
balloons?
birthday celebration.
Maybe balloons. Maybe you can have balloons at home next week.
There you go.
Oh, and the other thing is we're going to wear red.
Yes, have to wear red.
Yeah, everybody
That's
wear red.
Pentecost.
Red pajamas, red tracksuits, red shorts and red shirts, red hats. Lots of
Red.
red next Sunday for Pentecost. All right.
All right, see ya.
Bye.